ICEC 3-to-1 group. Today's theme is April showers. And April showers usually bring spring flowers. That means it's time to go outside and play. Things that we can do then are to play in the sand, which is great. We can play and dig in the dirt. So it's a great time if you have some weeds to actually let your children do bilateral activities. Pull those weeds out, or pull the dead flowers out, or pick the dead flowers out using maybe a good pincer grasp. The important part is let your kids get dirty. We've been quarantined in the house with a lot of rain. Everything is in the house with cleansing wipes, etc. So maybe play it safe, go in your own backyard, and let the kids play in the dirt, let them play in the sand. Since I didn't have sand at my house, I actually went to a volleyball court and just borrowed some sand for this video presentation. So once again, some of the fun toys would be having a bucket and letting the kids actually sit and pour the sand down, have twirly toys, fill up a cup of sand and let them actually dump it back and forth. Let them feel it in their hands. And one thing for the kids even that are doing some standing, take the shoes off, let them put their feet in the sand and actually feel it. Get their hands in the sand and let them squeeze it and see what it actually feels like. So with that too, then we have some tools that are fun. You can use shovels, you can use rakes to rake the leaves on the grass, etc., or our common little hoe. Perfect. One of the things that my grandson loves to do when it comes to Gigi's house is to use his garden tools over in the rocks. So whether your child just has sitting balance or high kneeling balance or can stand, these are activities where you can use the tools and have them, both hands, come and actually rake, reach out, good for balance, pull towards them. Reach out, good for balance, pull towards them. You can use the shovel then to do some actual digging and then eye-hand coordination of actually putting them in the pail. Okay? Then another very fun thing that he absolutely loves is the watering can. So what better place to do it than outside? So water the rocks, see what grows, water, and then you can always really fun too to then transfer one to the other. So this actually occupies him for at least a half an hour of playing in the rocks. So try it, let them get dirty. Now that you have the tools to do April play outside, we're going to go through a progression of gross motor skills. Some will apply to your children, some will not. So just go through the sequence, and it's not such a bad idea to do some of the sitting skills with the children that are either standing or trying to start to walk. But for the beginning sitting, this works beautifully. Putting the child in between your legs, so they're going to be in between your back leg. It's going to be used for support. The children can buttress or support themselves on top of your legs. You can press down with your front leg in helping to give them support. You can play with the sand, with the dirt, with the water, whatever you would like to in order to entertain them. Trying to get independent sitting sometimes can be difficult for our children. Sitting in between your legs, lots of times with them actually bearing weight into your hands instead of to the ground, which will help them to keep their back and head more upright. Lots of times this is a great position, and then if you want, you can take one hand slightly to the side and make them balance from one side to the other. Giving them more independence would be using something like this, which you do not have to go out and buy, but hopefully maybe you could take a box and make the same kind of thing, or there is a box at Costco in the string cheese section that is exactly the same as this. So you could have them sit up to the box and prop their hands forward and balance and be able to play. You're going to sit behind them and just make sure that they're keeping their balance. What you don't want to do is save them so much as to just put your hands gently on them and have them make self-corrections. After they can sit independently, what you'd like the children to learn how to do is to sit 90-90. This means sitting on a box so that their knees are at a 90-degree angle and their feet touch the ground. So this is a great activity for the kids to be able to sit and balance like this. We'll see if Raggedy Andy can do this. You have to remember. So keeping him just like this, doing bubble play, etc., having them reach for toys and still keep their balance here. That's an excellent activity for our kids to learn how to be able to sit at a 90 degrees. That means knee is at 90 degree, ankle is at 90 degree, touching the ground. One mode of movement that's very difficult for our children is all fours creeping. That means creeping on your hands and knees. It is hard to stimulate as a parent or even as a therapist because God only gave us two hands and we seem to need more than that. So to make it easier for the child, lots of times if they kneel or do an all fours position to a raised surface, this will help it and make it easier for them to get creeping. At times then you could get somebody to be in front and gently pull this along while you help the child actually do the reciprocal movement of creeping on hands and knees. Whoops, Raggedy Andy. So 1, 2, and then if somebody was to pull this, then I could be still behind them, actually using hands and knees to get that reciprocal creeping. This will help them to give them the idea of that movement with their trunk against gravity. From all fours creeping then, we go to high kneeling. And high kneeling, once again, just take your kitchen bag, box, and turn it into the high position, and let the kids just do a high kneel position and play at a raised surface. From high kneeling then, we go into a half kneel. And so you're going to want to actually take their leg, put them in a half kneel position like so. They can stay in this position, and this is a great place where siblings or other people can help with bubbles, etc., to get them to reach out and to play with them and to entertain them in this position. So you'll want to do one leg in a half kneel position and then the opposite leg in the half kneel position. From half kneel, then you can help the kids actually come up to stand by doing half kneel, hand in between legs or in crotch area, and just bring them up to a standing position. And let them just stand there, bearing some weight on their legs to see what it feels like. If we're working on getting our kids to stand alone, lots of times strengthening exercise would be doing a squat to an actual stand and then bending the knees voluntarily and coming back to squat. This is a great place to do container toy, putting an object like a block on the ground, container on the top, and having them come up to a stand, put the toy into the container, let them come back down into a squat on your knees. If you don't want to creep or sit like this behind them, sometimes they could sit on a yoga block or a small box in order to get this position. But your squat would like to be at, once again, at 90-90, so that they're going from a full squat, hands above their knees, straighten them out, let it bend and come back down. So once the child is up and standing, what we'd like them to do is start thinking about standing with no support. And lots of times to get their confidence, the best way is to let them stand against your body and have them reach out and play for toys maybe on a container in front of them. So you can help them to place the weight over their feet and slightly away from your body, but always knowing that they can rely back on your body for balance. So once the children are up and standing, then we can do lots of fun activities and work on balance, like having them put one foot on a pillow and one foot off. So we're actually trying to work at unbalance them a little bit, and their trunk is going to have to really work hard to keep their balance. Same thing would be for the other foot. Then you can do a pillow, and I'm just using my lounge chair pillows outside, but you can even do this inside, maybe with a sofa pillow, and let them stand here. And the squishier it is, the harder it is going to be to let them sort of balance. I'd rather you use a pillow on the ground than letting the kids learn how to stand on your bed, because that just spells danger. So letting them stand on the pillow and work at getting their balance. For children of any ability, whether they're just working on prone activities, supine activities, or sitting activities, sometimes a blanket pull is lots of fun, or a towel pull outside on the grass. So you could do this either inside or outside. But you can actually just give them gentle pulls with some twirls back and forth. You can have them sit up, and Raggedy Andy's going to have a hard time sitting up and maintaining his balance when I pull him. But then what your activity could be is stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. Getting them used to using their core muscles. You might give some hints to letting them know when you're going to do it, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and that'll give them some cues as to when you're going to actually stop. One fun activity can be using your lounge pad or using a cardboard box, a large cardboard box, opening it up and having it go across 2 or 3 stairs. This will create a slide effect for the kids. So the kids can actually have some feeling of going down a slide, since all of our parks are closed and you might not have a slide at home. So put the lounge pad across 2 stairs, or the open cardboard box across 2 stairs with the towel, and then just give them the feeling of like, woo, and let them actually slide down. One last activity for our kids who have mastered walking is actually then to walk on a ledge or a raised edge by putting one foot in front of the other. If you have a ledge in your backyard, great to use that. But the other thing that works very well is the curb as on the front part of your house. So you would let them actually walk on this. You're going to either hold one hand or 2 hands for as much support as they need. And then encourage them to put one foot in front of the other, almost like they were going to walk a balance beam. So depending upon their skill level, pick either a wide ledge, or if they're really good at doing this, then pick a very narrow curb, or sometimes the cement that goes in between the grass and a planter works well. Hope you've enjoyed April Showers Bring Outdoor Play, because I've enjoyed being with you.